Hi guys, welcome to Tasting China with me. I'm Chloe Chen Cici. China has always been a civilization that takes food very seriously. So have you ever wondered what did the most powerful and wealthiest person in ancient China, the emperor, actually eat? How many meals a day? How much food? Did he really have those legendary 100-dish feasts filled with rare delicacies? And what hidden rules were followed during royal meals? Well, today's video is going to satisfy all your curiosity. Back then, without electricity, everyone lived by the sun. A typical day started at sunrise around 6 a.m. Unlike today, the palace only served 2 main meals a day. Breakfast between 7 and 9 in the morning and dinner from around 1 to 3 in the afternoon. But don't worry, the emperor didn't go hungry between meals. Snacks like pastries, dumplings, and wontons were available throughout the day whenever the emperor wanted a little something. Now, unlike regular households where you just cook, wash your hands, and dig in, meals in the royal court followed strict etiquette. Before the emperor could begin his meal, dishes had to be presented to the empress dowager first, as a sign of respect. Likewise, the empress, concubines, and princes had to offer dishes to the emperor before they could eat. It was all about showing loyalty to the monarch and honoring elders. The empress dowager would then send food back to the emperor to show care and affection. And after eating, the emperor would share some of his leftover dishes, pastries, or desserts with his family. Of course, the royal family didn't have to run around delivering plates themselves. These exchanges were handled by palace staff, and all the royals had to do was approve the arrangements. Once the formalities were taken care of, it was finally time to eat. A eunuch would push 3 square tables together and cover them with the gold-embroidered silk tablecloths. Then other eunuchs would enter in line carrying red lacquered boxes filled with dishes, meats, steamed buns, rice, soups, pastries, placing them on the table in a very specific layout. Before the emperor touched anything, a special eunuch would go dish by dish, tasting each one with a silver spoon. Silver was believed to react to poison, so if it didn't change color, the food was considered safe. Another eunuch would announce each dish aloud, and if the emperor liked one, it would be served into his personal bowl or plate. Most of the time, the emperor had to eat alone, unless there was a specific decree. No one, not even the empress, was allowed to dine with him. Everyone else had to eat in their own palaces. Turns out, the higher your status, the lonelier your mealtime. The emperor didn't have a fixed dining room. Sometimes he ate in his bedroom, sometimes in his office. But while the location changed, his food ration was fixed. Ration here means the amount of ingredients prepared based on rank. How much rice, flour, meat, oil, and so on. As expected, the emperor had the highest ration, followed by the empress, concubines, and princes. For example, during the Qing Dynasty, the emperor's daily ration included Yes, it sounds overwhelming. You might be thinking, wouldn't he get super fat? Or isn't that wasteful? But don't worry, most of the food was for presentation. After the meal, leftovers were usually given to others. Dishes from the emperor and empress table were given to concubines, princes, and ministers. And the food left from the concubines' meals that often went to palace maids and eunuchs. So yes, it was extravagant, but not wasteful. A typical imperial meal might include over 20 meat and vegetable dishes, 4 types of staple food, and 2 kinds of porridge or soup. And on special occasions like birthdays, royal weddings, and family banquets, those legendary 100-dish meals, totally possible. So what exactly did the emperor eat? Fortunately, the Qing court kept detailed records of what the emperors ate. One of the most famous is a food log called Dang, which documented the daily meals of Qing emperors. For example, we know exactly what Emperor Qianlong ate on the 7th day of the first lunar month in the 30th year of Emperor Qianlong's reign. It was a day in February 1765. That morning, while traveling by boat during his southern tour, he had a fairly simple breakfast. His breakfast menu included Even in this light breakfast, we see both delicacies like bird's nest and deer tail, as well as common ingredients like tofu and vegetables. There was a sort of balance of meat, tofu, vegetables, and grains. Bird's nest was a prized tonic believed to nourish the body, while the dark hot pot with fresh seasonal grains combines rich flavors with nutrition. As a Manchu-led dynasty, the Qing royal family loved dairy and lamb, traditions from their nomadic roots. Staples like the rolled buns and aged rice porridge added that comforting fullness. So the richness of the meal didn't lie in how rare the ingredients were, but in the careful combination of flavor, nutrition, and technique. Dinner was just as lavish, often featuring dishes from across China's many culinary regions. The table would include seasonal vegetables and fruits, spring bamboo shoots, summer lotus root, autumn pears, winter persimmons, always cooked fresh and in season for the best flavor. There were also countless desserts and pastries, from Manchu-style sashima and mung bean cakes to southern treats like osmanthus glazed lotus root or dingsheng cakes. Lightly sweet, soft in texture. Oh my god, the world of Chinese pastries was so vast. I might do a whole episode just on those if you are interested in. As for drinks, the emperor's tea routine was just as elaborate. In the morning, he might have bird's nest soup or milk tea. After meals, pu'er tea from Yunnan. In the afternoon, Nongjing green tea. At night, ginseng tonic. And Emperor Kangxi, he insisted on drinking fresh deer blood from the royal hunting grounds. Even the water used for cooking and tea was hauled in daily from Jade Spring Mountain, west of Beijing, just for the emperor and royal family. Of course, China went through many dynasties, and each had its own slight variations in food and etiquette. But since the Qing was the most recent dynasty and the records are the most complete, we are using it as our main example today, just to give you a clearer picture of what imperial dining was really like. So, which imperial dish would you want to try? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Besides storytelling videos about Chinese food culture, I also post shorts from my food adventure across China. Fancy cuisines, street food, homemade dishes, and traditional sweets. If that sounds fun to you, go check them out. See you in the next video. Bye bye!